everybody. So today's Monday. That means it's time for family movie night. And this week we have school starting around the country, whether it's homeschool or regular school. And so that made me think about the movie Up the Down Staircase as a good choice for this week's family movie night. And I have an affection for this film because when I was in high school, my high school put on the play, and I actually was the assistant director of the play. And so I got to know it very well, was very familiar with it. And I think that this movie does a really good job of translating the play over to a movie. And this movie is not for people who want kind of the Dead Poets Society style of teacher movie, that's sort of more triumphant and melodramatic. That's not this movie. This movie is more simple than that. It stars Sandy Dennis as Miss Barrett, who is this new teacher coming into an inner city school in New York, Calvin Coolidge High School it's called, and she has a diverse and challenging class that she really, really struggles with. And I think Sandy does such a good job in this movie of just feeling so awkward and insecure and uncomfortable. Like, you feel uncomfortable as an audience member. She's shy, she's struggling, but she's trying to do this brave thing, and she's trying to do the best that she can. And she never gives up on, keeps trying to do what she thinks is right and what might help these students. And it's very difficult, sometimes very discouraging. Her first day, she has these grand plans that she's going to talk about, first impressions, that is going to be great. And by the end of the homeroom, she hasn't even taken full attendance yet. And I think that any teacher will really relate to that. And it just does such a good job of portraying the life of being a teacher. This is 1967, but I don't think it's changed that much. If anything, it's gotten worse. And all of the forms that she has to fill out. And there's a nurse who has this incredible filing system. She keeps track of all the students, but she doesn't actually, she thinks she's helping them by having this elaborate filing system, but then when they're actually in need, she does nothing. And that kind of frustration of, we'll just fill out another form, make a request, we'll see what we can do, fill out another form, we'll give you the wrong form. All of that is so frustrating, and nobody is helping to really care for these kids in the way that she thinks that they should. And you have a teacher here that is kind of the star of the English department. His name is Mr. Barringer, and he's kind of your Dead Poets Society kind of teacher. He's very charismatic, he's very good with the kids and everything like that, but he also is super cynical and does not really care at all. And he's just it's just a performance, it's an act. And sort of what happens with him and one of his students is pretty chilling. And yeah, things are not tidy in this movie. Things are not made better in this movie. I think it is very non-manipulative, unmanipulative, if that's a word. I think that it's also filmed in a inner city high school, so it has sort of grounded feel. The extras were from that area in New York, and so it just has, again, that grounded feel. The other teachers feel just weary and tired and frustrated, and there's another teacher who becomes friends with Miss Barrett, and she still believes in what she's doing, but so much of what she sees has become commonplace, and she expects it, whereas it's still sort of shocking to Miss Barrett. And so that's really interesting and well done. And this movie really held up for me. I thought it was really solid, and I wish that more movies were kind of made about teachers that had this kind of take on it, as opposed to the melodramatic inspirational story take, which I enjoy as well. But I think this movie is really good. I really enjoyed it. And so if you haven't seen it, maybe you haven't even heard of it, I think you should give it a shot. It was a very good movie. And you consider it was made in 1967, I think it really still is very relevant. So yeah, as far as for families, I wouldn't recommend this for younger kids. It's older kids because it does have themes of suicide and sexual harassment and racism, things like that, that you need to have a certain maturity level to have that discussion. So I would wait until they were a little older. But it's important discussions to have. And I think this film's a good one to kind of get that dialogue going and start talking about it. So that's my thoughts on Up the Down Staircase. I think it's a real hidden gem, if you ask me. So let me know what you think. Have you seen this one? If you heard of it? Have you seen the play? I would love to hear your thoughts. And please subscribe to this channel. Please like the video. I would really appreciate that. And consider becoming a patron. You can have your own pick for family movie night if you become a patron. And then also we have our merch store, which has tons of fun inspired merch. So check that out. And thanks again. And we'll talk to y'all next week. Bye.